What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Co-parenting, let me tell you something. It is not for the weak. Everybody loves to talk about how it's for the kids and how mature people make it work. But let's be real. Sometimes co-parenting feels like you're still in a relationship, just without the love, without the intimacy, and with triple the stress. Let me know your thoughts, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
Something that just doesn't get talked about enough is how hard it is to co-parent with the person that you are trying to emotionally and mentally heal from. That is a completely different spectrum of strength that goes so unnoticed.
This one's for the bitch-ass co-parents who want to cause problems during the exchange of the child. Shut the fuck up. When that child is with you, don't cause chaos, don't cause problems. Don't sit there and go, well, what are you guys doing this weekend? Don't sit there and go, well, me. Shut the fuck up. That exchange is purely for the exchange of the child to go back to the other parent.
Emotional damage.
For all you dads out there struggling right now, I hear you, brother. It's fucking hard. Everybody wants your time and your money, and you can't give them both. You feel like you constantly let somebody down. Stress, the guilt of being gone. Hey, I'm proud of you. It takes a hell of a man to keep putting boots on every morning when your mentality is that you just can't get ahead. But with a little luck and a little prayer, we'll all get to where we need to be. So you just keep putting on them fucking boots, and you just keep knowing that what you're doing means something to somebody, especially them kiddos.
Battled for shared custody of my two boys for 5 years. And this is what I've learned. Number one, the court system, regardless of what anyone wants to say, is extremely unfair when it comes to males. Number two, oftentimes there's a narcissist on one of the sides of the fence, and generally the court system will actually believe and favor that person right off the bat. The third thing I learned that was extremely important is you really need to check your emotions and control your side of involving yourself within the games that are being played. At the end of the day, you need to focus on the connection that you have with your kids, because ultimately when it's all said and done, that is the most important thing that matters, and that will be the only thing that lasts.
The father of my kids has a girlfriend, and over the weekend he I guess introduced her and our kids together. They went golfing stuffs, whatever, and I don't mind, but we agreed that we will get to meet the person and let each other know before they meet our children, just so I know who that person is, just so he knows that person when I start dating. I'm not dating, so my kids aren't meeting anyone. But now that I want to meet her and I need to know who she is, he doesn't want me to. Like, I need to know who's going to be around my kids. But now it's an issue. But if I would have done it without his permission, oh, hell.
If you withhold money from the mother of your child, or you don't pay child support, or you don't provide for your child to intentionally make the mother of your child struggle, you're not just making the mother of your child struggle, you're making your child struggle as well. As you see, a lot of you men will leave the mother of your child and then get mad because you no longer have control over her. You can't lie to her, gaslight her, manipulate her, cheat on her. Whatever you were doing in the relationship, you can no longer do to her. And when a lot of you start to see that you're not getting a reaction from her and you can no longer affect her or control her, you'll start to withhold the money that is meant to take care of your child just to hurt the mother of your child. Let me tell you something, regardless of how much money the mother of your child makes, regardless if your child has everything your child needs, if they're living a perfect life without you, your financial support will go a long way. So if you're leaving the mother of your child to do everything by herself, to intentionally make her struggle because you no longer have control over her now that you're not together, I do hope at some point in time y'all start to realize that you're not just making the mother of your child struggle, you're making your child struggle as well.
No one talks about how hard it is to co-parent. It's been 5 years, and here I am watching my kids play I walk past my son's room. It's empty. I know he's only gone for the weekend, but it's just hard. But it really got to me the other day. I dropped him off at his dad's, and my 2-year-old is full on bawling for his brother. How do I explain to him that it's not? Yeah, baby. It's not our turn to be with him, you know? I miss Diki, baby. Co-parenting does not get easier.
Oh, you don't have your kids? Oh, you living your best life, man. Oh, you don't have your kids at home? Oh, you have it easy. That is amazing. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's one of the most depressing things in the world. Not being with your kids. Not having your kids around. Let's be upfront. Let's be honest. Living alone and sharing custody, it is not the easiest thing in the world. Imagine walking back into your place and you have nothing but silence waiting for you. No more laughs. No more hugs and kisses from your kids. It's just you by yourself in your own thoughts, in your own mind. And the only thing that's keeping you sort of sane is watching the videos of your kids on your phone and the memories you just created with them before dropping them off. Yeah, it's not easy. If you love your kids the way they should be loved, it is not easy leaving them. It is not easy being away from them. It is not easy going to sleep, not being next to them, or waking up with them. Moments without your kids are dark, are depressing, are heartbreaking.
So I just dropped my son off to his dad. He'll be there for a little bit. We share custody of him, and guys, I'm struggling. It's rough. If you're in a co-parenting situation or shared custody situation, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where as much as all of us complain about needing a break and needing time off, because it is a full-time job being a mom, being a dad, there's nothing like saying goodbye to your little one when they're crying and just want mama. And my son is a super clingy little boy. He's a mama's boy through and through. So he loves his dad, but every time I drop him off, he's just like, mama, and it just like breaks my heart. Like, I know he has to see his dad, and I want him to have a relationship with his dad. That's not what this is about. It's just, I need to vent a little bit because I'm feeling down, and I always feel down on days that I have to drop him off.
So I just dropped my kids off at their dad's house for the first time. I'm not going to get to see them for the next 5 days. And I haven't shared any of this because I don't feel that everything has to be online, and not all of your personal life has to be displayed for everybody's entertainment. Though it's nice to have a community behind you and people that are going through similar situations to talk to. But since January, we've been separated, and we're going to get a divorce now. So this has been literally the hardest thing that I've ever had to do in my life, and the hardest time I've ever had in my life. And that's saying a lot because I've honestly lived a pretty rough life.
I'd love to know what you would do in this scenario. I have an ex-husband and we have one daughter together. My daughter lost her tooth yesterday before going to her dad's house. She stayed the night there last night, and she took a tooth pillow over. She took her tooth over there. She was so excited. She called me this morning. She said the tooth fairy didn't come. Pause and think what you would have done in that moment. Your child calls you, the tooth fairy didn't come last night. And I'm going to tell you what I did. I said, the tooth fairy didn't come. I said, was your room clean? She said, yes. She shows me her room on FaceTime. I'm like, oh my gosh. Your dad just moved. I bet she didn't have the right address. Oh my gosh. And I took it a step further and I said, you know what's crazy? Is your brother woke up this morning and said, something woke me up. Maybe it was the dogs. I said, I never heard the dogs barking. I bet she came to my house looking for you. Oh my gosh. And then she said, what do we do? I said, I'll send an email. I said, ask Dad if he wants me to send an email.
because I want to be on the same page. I'll send an email and say, hey, Tooth Fairy girl, listen, I forgot to let you know that Avery's dad moved a couple months ago, and she has not had a pickup there at that new house, and sorry for the mishap. Crisis averted.
Kudos to those who make it work like this, but you'd think after a breakup or divorce the hard part would be over. Nope. The real challenge begins when you're forced to coordinate every detail of your child's life with someone you couldn't even stand to live with anymore. It's the constant back and forth, school schedules, doctor's appointments, holidays, birthdays, and if your co-parent is petty, oh, forget it. Suddenly every little thing becomes a battlefield.
Kids have their first day of school this week, unfortunately fell on their dad's day. Well, I am going to miss my kids' first day of school. This is going to be obviously, let's not cry on the internet. This is going to be obviously the first time that I miss their first day of school. Always reframe my mindset and be like, it's not about me and my experience and my feelings. It's about the kids. They're going to be excited. It's going to be great. One of the things I try really hard to keep in mind is that I don't want the kids to carry the burden of my feelings. I feel a lot of guilt for not being with my kids every other week. Sometimes in order to pacify my guilt, I want the kids to know, like, I miss you. Kids do a really good job of carrying emotional labor for their parents if you let them. I've had to just kind of keep that from my kids. You're gonna have so much fun with your dad. I'll see you next week. No big deal. Drop them off and then cry alone so that they don't have to carry their own feelings about it in addition to mine. You know what I mean? I'm crying on the internet.
Family court has indeed changed, you guys. It is no longer all about the mothers. Times have changed. In certain states and in many states, it is 50-50 now. California is not 50-50, but it is heading towards 50-50. Unless you have a really good reason why a father should not have custody, that father is going to get some form of custody. But what is also going to happen is that father is also going to pay a lot in child support. That has not changed, other than more women are also now paying child support. The person who pays child support more likely is the fathers, and they still will be paying a lot in child support, regardless of the fact whether they get some custody or whether they get a lot more custody. Things have shifted. It is no longer all about the mothers. I'm sorry, ladies, this is the truth. Unless you have a really good reason why that father should not get any custody or at least visitation, they are at least going to get some form of visitation, if not custody.
Y'all, I am going through the emotions. Like, you know, me and my ex-partner decided to, just co-parent. And I just dropped my son off. Oh, and it was so hard. It was so hard. I feel like co-parenting isn't even talked about enough. Like, the amount of, just hurt and pain you feel, it's just unexplainable. Like, I don't even have the words. I had to stop my car. I had to pull over and just take a second to process everything. And I'm just hurt. I'm so hurt. I'm so sad, seeing how happy that little boy was when he seen his father. He'd look back at me, he'd smile. He was just so happy. So it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And I just feel like co-parenting isn't fair. It's not fair. Everything in life is not fair. But it's just like this, I wouldn't wish this on anyone at all. I tell, anyone out there that's listening to keep fighting. Keep fighting for your kids. Keep, as obviously as long as you can, as much as you can. Like, if you really love that person and, you guys just argue about stupid stuff, like, put that aside and just fix it. fix it. Fight for your relationship. Fight for your partner.
So you have split custody of your kids. Say, for instance, like me, you have 50-50. Basically, in an instant, I lost 50% of my time with my kids as children in their lives, which nobody really thinks about it that way, but that's a lot of time. And something that really bugs me when other people say to me, other people that have kids, they always say, you're so lucky that you can have the weekend off and you don't have your kids. Now, that's fine. People like to do what they want to do, but I don't feel lucky to not get to spend a weekend with my kids. I wouldn't have had kids if I didn't want to spend every weekend with them. And just kind of rubs me the wrong way when people say that to me. I might be just being oversensitive about it, but I don't look forward to the weekends that I drop my kids off on a Friday morning at school and daycare. I don't look forward to that because I know I'm not going to see them again until Monday night.
I disagree 100%. I'll tell you why. I begged her during the pretrial, I begged her to do shared parenting. She said she'd rather my daughter see me once a month and be with random people than be with me. Then, at the final hearing, the magistrate stopped the hearing and said to my daughter's mom, I know you care for your daughter, and clearly he cares for his daughter, or for your guys' daughter. I'm recommending shared parenting. And as she was talking, my daughter's mom interrupted the judge and said absolutely not. That if she wanted to pick up and move out of state again, like she just did the last 5 years, she wanted to do that without her being tied down to Trinity seeing me. So the judge left that part alone and continued the court hearing. And then when it was for my time to be on trial, I told the judge I wanted to do shared parenting, 50-50 everything, and I would still pay her mom child support. And as I was talking, she interrupted me during my time, during my questioning, and said she wasn't doing that. So then it came down to my lawyer talking, and my lawyer said, Your Honor, we're going to offer shared parenting one more time. If she doesn't agree to this after the fourth and fifth time of us offering shared parenting, then I want my client to go for full custody as he's been wanting. And so the judge asked me, she said, Mr. Ramsey, if you was granted full custody of your daughter, how would you proceed to do things? I said, Your Honor, I would still give her week on, week off because my daughter does love her mom. I'm not trying to hurt her mom, and I would still pay her mom child support. And she stopped me and she said, Mr. Ramsey, you are well aware she just sat here and said no to everything that you're saying. I said, Your Honor, she just took her away from me time and time again over the last 13 years. The court records show how much I've been in court. This is court appearance number 10, Your Honor. And you guys have let her get away with taking my child away time and time again. This last time for 5 years in Tennessee. The last 5 years she was gone, I got to see her 6 months collectively, all together, 6 months and 5 years. So I do appreciate your words, but unfortunately I disagree. I'm done reconsidering all that. I've been the bigger person for 13 years.
I have split custody of my kids 50-50, and I was spending approximately $800. Yes, you heard that right. $800 a week when they were home. When you divide a month in half, that's 2 weeks per month. I was spending $1,600, and I didn't even realize it. And I'm curious to know if any other parents that share their kids have experienced this without even realizing it. The week that my kids are at their dad's, I spend that week working my ass off and also preparing myself for the week that they come back so that I could spend quality time with them. And being that I'm in these thoughts of quality time, I'm thinking, okay, where are we going to have dinner? Where are we going to go have snacks? What should we do over the weekend? Just things to spend quality time and like go outside. So I was treating every time they came home like a special occasion. And granted, they are my kids. They're special 24/7. But like a special occasion, $800 a week. And I have 3 kids, so it adds up quickly. A Chuck E. Cheese trip is easily $350 with food and 2 hours of playtime each. And I think I was doing this subconsciously because I was like, oh, okay, I'm so excited to see them next week, like planning things for the next week. But when in reality, outings and things like that are for special occasions. And they had become so accustomed to it that they had an expectation. And that's what really got me triggered. Because I'm like, why don't you guys ask your dad? They're like, well, he's at work. So you could take us. So that means I'm spending these $800 and this just mom. Oh, and they were waiting to ask to do things and activities that they saw around the city for when they were with me. And they already had the expectation because I was already planning stuff for them all the time. And I was having little cute baskets for them for Valentine's Day, Easter, like all these things that come up. But when it became an expectation of theirs, I was like, wait a damn minute. I'm creating monsters, spoiled, rotten kids that expect things without doing anything to earn them. Simply because I was missing them while they were gone and I wanted to do things with them when they came home.
So yeah, co-parenting struggles are a whole different level of stress, but I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. What's the hardest part of co-parenting for you? Drop it in the comments, let's talk about it, because trust me, if you're struggling, you are not alone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and with that, I'm out.